within me. The Spirit lives within you. And the Spirit lives within each and every one of us living and breathing organisms that exist in this multi-universe. Yes, the Spirit, one of the most critical artifacts of our being and existence during this incarnation. What is its soul's purpose here during this time? What is its definition in its purest form? So a spirit is just simply the non-physical aspect of yourself, be it just your emotional, artifacts that present your character and your characteristics to who you are as a being. In other words, your spirit is simply the soul that resides within. So of course, the great term spirit, so vital and important during this great shift. For we have seen that when we have gone to the depths of the deep awakening stage of the dark night of the soul, the spirit is often searching for its true state and identity as it's being restructured and redefined. Now, the spirit is the soul, and as we've seen during this awakening process, the dark night of the soul, where it's going in a state of dying, former self, in this incarnation, as we've seen it so hard, death is usually when we've seen that we live a state of, we are no longer conscious. And of course, I believe when we go through this great dark night of the soul, we go through a state where we're no longer conscious of what's going on in this 3D realm, and we're opening up to what lives beyond the veils in the 5D realm. Now the question of the spirit lives on forever, the soul. Now, living in this incarnation, we often were told, okay, we have sort of like a spirit within us that sort of is like our internal guide compass. And we've often connected it, through our own understanding of just what we've been told, religious conditioning and perspectives, that we have a sort of creator, God presence that created us. We have, the Son Jesus, the representation of a man in a human form, who was able to achieve Christ consciousness and to rise in spirit. And now the spirit, which is like the Holy Spirit, as part of the Trinity, to be with us, to guide us. Now the essence of the spirit is to simply show us that our spirit never dies. Our spirit lives on forever and ever and ever and ever. Now, as we're in this great co-creative stage, and we have to sort of delve into scientific perspective, because that's what has given us our reasoning and so quote-unquote facts to be able to understand this world through great experimentation, and to sort of like use this mental body structure to say, oh wow, this is how we're supposed to live and breathe every day and take our action to be able to coexist and, just pretty much live on during this state of our evolution. Now, the question of spirit, back to the years of ages. Think to yourself, how many lifetimes have you had since the first inception of co-creation? We're being taught and told that the earth, through historical perspective, we have been in existence for billions and billions of years. Now, can you think back and think, when was I first incarnated on this earth? Maybe even in other galaxies and universes. What did I do? What was my purpose? To continue a universe that's gonna benefit us all. No longer are we gonna continue to live in a universe where we're on different statuses in continuation to seeing that the Spirit indeed lives on forever. We see that there is indeed no separation within time and space. And so, as we continue this great topic and discussion of where do the Spirit or soul's essence originates from, and what is its intention and purpose in this dimension and this incarnation of this lifetime, we see that, of course, our body artifact has been put so much emphasis on, but we indeed see that our souls is what indeed carries us throughout all of our lifetimes. So let's take ourselves back. Are you in this great stage of your awakening, reverting back to past lifetimes and past incarnations? Are you perhaps remembering maybe a lifetime, maybe when you were in ancient times, maybe in this Atlantis paradigm, many primitive timelines, or even maybe other incarnations in other solar systems and galaxies? Now, the reasoning for bringing this up to shed light on this great topic that the soul lives on forever is to show you that, in fact, you do have blueprints, residing within this soul and spirit essence that allows you to flow through life with great DNA activation. Now, what do I mean by that? It's to show you that if you were, let's go back to, the Atlantis era, you were probably during that great Aquarian era, during this Atlantis time where, this city had fallen, but it was such a time of a great shift, of a utopian era. And maybe you were, in that lifetime, you may have been a scientist. And all of the remembrance of that is now coming back to you. And your soul's DNA is being activated, and it's showing you that you can use that creative essence to go through this great awakening shift, to pretty much call back all your soul's essences and merge within this human form to take you to the other side of this great awakening shift. Now it's time that we stop seeing ourselves as, little old vessels and little old beings, because we are dynamic beings. We have, our soul's imprints and DNA imprinted with us, that the spirit has carried on through, even through death. Death is just a state of unconsciousness in a human form. So as we have now come back into this incarnation, it's for us to be able to channel forth all our soul's essences and merge it into this body artifact to carry us through. Now, it's time that we continue our awakening process to see that, wow, the spirit is such a dynamic force. As you can see, the spirit is not a physical thing. It is just like a state of consciousness. So as you begin to remember, you're seeing that you have to kind of be taken back to the past. And I'm using this great Atlantis paradigm because I believe it is very pivotal in taking us forth into the next stage of our evolution, because the earth pretty much went into a state of depletion during that era, and many of us souls, we experienced great trauma, great pain, great loss during that time. And the activations that we're receiving now is to pretty much transmute, transform and heal that era and take forth that dynamic feature within that particular time in our present moment to go forward into the future. Now, depending on where you are on your journey, You may also be given pictures of the future, which we also connect, the future timeline with our higher selves, merging that higher vessel within us that can, as I stated before, travel astral projections within time and space and be able to transmute and transform within this spirit that lives on within you to the past and the future and merge it into your present moment. Now, it shows us that we are indeed not just robotic features in this lifetime who has to, we've discussed this many times, follow a status quo, learn skills. Many of us, especially if we share certain interests in certain skills, is because we have done it before. Let's say you are a carpenter. Maybe you were a great architect in a previous lifetime, you know. Maybe you were a musician. Maybe you use music to create harmony before. Maybe you were a writer. Maybe you wrote certain, just features on earth that, helped transition the earth. Maybe you're just like a homemaker and you were able to create delicious recipes and foods to just provide nourishment for the body and healing. You see, we're so diverse, we're so multidimensional that it's hard sometimes for the little logical human mind to understand these things because it doesn't make sense. Because remember, we have only been conditioned to think and live a certain way, and our brain's capacity cannot take forth everything. And that's where we are seeing the merger of the full wholesomeness of our entire being, our soul's essence, where we're able to merge, that spirit within us, that creative essence, that feminine nature, the masculine nature, to be able to form reasoning, use our brain, use our mental body. And we go forth into just this inner child essence, not just to see, the pureness that we have when we were first born, but to take us back even into those past lifetimes of trauma. Now, it's so important as we continue to see that the spirit lives on forever. We decided to take on this human form. We wanted to evolve, as a human spirit. And so as we go forward into this great Aquarian shift, we have to tell ourselves, what is the reality that we are wanting to create? As we are calling back all our soul's essences through our great awakening shift, we begin to see that, wow, we get to collectively come together and create a reality for humanity that benefits us all. Now, I know that we're all in different stages. Some have not even acknowledged who they are true at heart, They don't even recognize themselves when they've gone through the dark night of this world. And their minds and hearts and souls has been captivated by certain, features out here that are just keeping them in a lower state and a lower vibration. Now, when we begin to all channel ourselves and just become our purest nature, live, let the spirit live on within. Let the spirit take you forward in each and every step of your journey. You begin to see that, wow, this spirit that lives within me is so dynamic, so powerful, so amazing that nothing can hinder nor hinder the evolutionary process that you have decided to carry on throughout this lifetime. So let that great, eternal, infinite spirit take you forward to the next stage of your journey, and let your spirit be magnified to share this great essence of yours from all dimensions and parts, to be a great part of this great evolutionary process that we're now going through. I have so much joy and happiness within me as I see the full picture of where we are being taken. And I stand firm as being a pivotal feature in just sharing this great experience with each and every one of you in this solar universe of humanity. And let's go forward and take this shift into the most beautiful collective experience of our spirit, hearts, minds, and soul as we come forward together to build a beautiful universe. Love to you all, my dear friends.